This year has seen one of the biggest changes ever within the outdoor industry. Gore EPE has just been released, but the big question is, what is it? Now, to explain exactly what it is, we've got to go pretty acronym heavy. So apologies about that, bear with us. Now, up until this point, if you've bought a Gore-Tex jacket, the chances are it's an EPTFE jacket. Now, this contains PFCs, otherwise known as polyfluorocarbons. Now, there's good news and bad news when it comes to PFCs. The good news from a waterproofing perspective is that they are extremely effective at keeping water outside of your waterproof jacket, which is what you want. The bad news is that they don't break down in the environment, and brands, including Gore-Tex and the likes of RAB, Mountain Equipment, and many others, are looking to remove them from their production process. And this is where EPE comes in. EPE is PFC-free, as is its DWR treatment. That's its durable water repellency. We've spoken to experts of both RAB and Mountain Equipment about this change. Here's what they had to say.
So EPTFE has been around for a long time, and Gore have researched it right to its sort of end. They've plumbed every avenue they can with the R&D, and it's against this big tide of environmental policy, which is, becoming more restrictive on the use of fluorocarbons. They've suddenly got this new avenue to pursue, which is EPE. To try and swim against this tide, it's a bit like trying to run a diesel car or a petrol car in 2030. It's going to be difficult. People are buying electric cars right now, and that's the sort of EPE option, if you like. Or you can continue to buy the EPTFE for a few more years, but then it will be phased out. EPE's got a few advantages over EPTFE. The big one is the environmental benefits. There's no fluorocarbons involved. And it's actually a stronger membrane as well. So in terms of strength per weight, it's stronger, which means they can make them lighter weight products. This is a whole new material platform. With EPTFE, they got as far as they could get. With EPE, they're right at the start of this journey. They can make a huge difference. They can make a real big benefits.
So what does this mean for you whilst you're out on the hill? Ultimately, it has the same hydrostatic head. That's the level of waterproofing. This jacket will still keep you as dry as your Gore-Tex jacket from yesteryear, and that is a seriously important factor. The membrane itself is constructed slightly differently and has a softer and lighter feel to it. And you'll notice this whilst putting on the jacket. They'll feel that little bit more comfortable as a result. However, what you will notice is that it wets out quicker than your previous Gore-Tex jackets. Now, the reason for this isn't the membrane, it's that PFC-free DWR treatment. But don't worry, it's not a sign that your jacket is broken. It's just a sign that your jacket needs washing and proofing. In reality, this is the only practical difference you're likely to notice whilst wearing the jacket. But it just requires a bit of adaptation, more washing and proofing using products such as Nick Wax, and at the end, if you do that, take care of your jacket, it will also last for longer.
When you're looking at your older Gore styles and you see it beading on the outside, that doesn't add any waterproof protection to the garment. Essentially, that beading that you see is there to let that membrane, whether that be EPTFE or EPE, do its job, which is to breathe. That's what it needs to do. You need to be able to get your moisture vapor from inside your garment to the outside of your garment, and that DWR treatment allows that to happen. So as you're seeing it beading, that membrane is able to breathe and keep you comfortable from the inside.
A burly Gore-Tex jacket such as this, the Mountain Equipment Makalu, consists of 3 layers. It's got the backer, which is the bit on the inside of the jacket. This is there partially to protect the membrane, but also to spread that condensation and that sweat building up on the inside across as wide a surface area as possible. You've then got the membrane, which in the case of the Makalu is EPE, and that's the bit that lets that moisture vapor through from the inside to out, but stops the water droplets coming from the outside in. And finally, you've got that face fabric. This also helps to protect the membrane, but it also adds to the jacket's overall durability. Each of these 3 layers plays a crucial and interconnected role in terms of the waterproofing and the breathability of the jacket.
It's a fundamental change about the way we look at our waterproof gear. We can no longer sit and expect our products to last 10 years without washing them. If you are using, and they used to, but if you are using it regularly, you need to be caring for it regularly. It's like skincare. You're not going to not wash your face for 5 days. You're going to wash and cream your face every day. And I'm not saying that you have to do that with a waterproof, but it's just getting into that mindset that now that we are moving away from these forever chemicals and chemicals that are having an impact on our environment, we have to change our behaviours and we have to change our expectations. By washing it regularly, proofing it regularly, yeah, you will extend the lifetime of that product. And just because it does wet out doesn't mean that that product no longer works. It just means that you need to look after it more.
It's hard to put into words how big a change moving from EPTFE to EPE is for Gore. It's almost like the car industry moving to battery power and electric cars. But it's bigger than that. It's absolutely massive. It impacts on everything from, in car world, it would be the wheels, the windscreen has to change, the whole chassis, not just the gearbox and the engine.
Gore EPE represents a major change for the industry. And the jackets we've reviewed so far, we've been really impressed with. But the thing to remember is that you are going to have to wash it and proof it more often as a result of that PFC-free DWR treatment. But off of the back of that, there is positive news, and that if you do look after your jacket properly, it will last for longer, and that is the best thing possible for the environment.